Let's talk the cup. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the cup. Woo!
Well, good evening, everybody. Hey, it's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler Virtual Book Club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube platform, the Let's Talk to Cutler. Let's spend these 1,800 seconds together on another Tuesday. It is the 15th. It's tax day. It's the 15th of April. I hope that everybody's doing well. And just in case this is your first time stopping by right out of the gate, this platform is about inspiration. It's about motivation. It is about challenging ourselves to show up our best self, even in the worst of situations, because life has a way of giving you all of these options, all of these opportunities, all of these predicaments. And it is our goal to make sure that we show up our best self, even in the worst of them. It was one writer, Dickens, who wrote, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And for me, whenever you're dealing with the worst of times, you always can make that the best of times because you can show up your best self. It's just that plain. It's just that simple. Even in the worst of times, you can always show up your best self. You can consistently, repeatedly show up your best self. And how do you do that? We have conversations about it. We talk about it. We talk about how to prepare for life. And it's a preparing every single day. So then, let's just chit chat for just a moment. I'm going to shout out the LTT VIPs, LTTC VIPs in just a moment. But again, if this is your first time, please know that this is about inspiration, motivation, and personal challenges, and sometimes group challenges. And if you have not done so already, listen. If you haven't already subscribed, do me a favor, subscribe. Just go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't invited anybody to come and chat with us in a while, invite somebody to come on and chat. Tell them, come on, let's talk to Cutler. The man is just trying to help save somebody's life. He's talking about real life situations, things that just happen. They just happen because life is happening. It doesn't mean somebody's done you wrong. Somebody has, betrayed you. It's just that life happens. Sometimes, people do you wrong. Sometimes people can betray you, but that's not what we're talking about. And listen, after you subscribe, do me another favor, take it one step further and click on the notification bell, wherever it is on your device. I don't know whether it's down there, up there, over there, wherever it is, click on that notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live and or whenever I have uploaded new content. I'm feeling so much better this week than I did yesterday. Than I did yesterday, but so much better than I did last week, you all, because I can breathe much better. I don't think the pollen is really necessarily out of the air, but I'm not dealing with the sinus infection. I'm not dealing with the allergies, those kinds of things. So I'm just always thankful when there's improvement, when I'm doing better emotionally, when I'm doing better physically, when I'm doing better financially, when I'm doing better spiritually, when I'm doing better psychologically, when I'm doing better physiologically, when I'm doing better. I love the inertia, the movement toward better. It's just something about becoming better. And so you set up that mind frame, that mindset rather, that says, you know what? I am going to find a space. Here we go. I'm going to find a space where I can be better so that I don't have to be this way tomorrow. I'm going to find that area in my life where I can be better tomorrow than I was today. Why do you do that, Cutler? Because that way you give and you create something that you celebrate. You give yourself a reason to celebrate. With everything that's going on in life, don't you think you ought to be able to throw a party every day? You ought to be able to throw some kind of party before you put your head on your pillow at night to say, you know what? I achieved something. There was something that I accomplished today, and there's something that I get a chance to celebrate. Celebrate the fact that you persevered. Celebrate the fact that you've made it. Celebrate the fact that you stayed in character. Celebrate the fact that your integrity was still in check. Celebrate the fact that you still had people in your community who love you. Celebrate the fact that you had people in the community that you love. Celebrate all of that. Find a reason to celebrate. I think I'm just trying. I mean, I've already jumped into the motivation and the inspiration message and moment, but find a way every single day to celebrate. You all, don't you know you cannot give in to 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 the pressures of where we are with respect to the administration or the culture or the climate of the day. I'm telling you, you cannot succumb to all of that, because if you succumb to all of that, it's really about you succumbing to all of that and allowing those things to take you under. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. You have to be intentional about speaking your joy. You have to be deliberate about claiming the victory, and you have to be ever so strategic about making sure that there is going to be some good in this day for me. When you wake up in the morning, you have to say to yourself, there is going to be some good in this day for me. I will not put my head on the pillow tonight until I have discovered and realized some good that happened for me. And sometimes you have to make it, you have to find it. You just have to find the good that's going on. Sometimes you feel like the old hymn, when all around my soul gives way, he then is my hope and stay. You have to be able to find hope in the day. You have to be able to find peace in the day. You have to be able to find joy in the day. You have to be able to find contentment in the day. You have to be able to find something in the day that it's foundational. It gives you something to stand on, so that you can stand on the precipice of a new day and see tomorrow and see into tomorrow and know that tomorrow is not all bleak. It's not all gloom and doom. You have to be purposeful about seeing your victory and seeing a reason to celebrate all day. I didn't intend to say that, but I hope it was for somebody, because we wake up, and sometimes we wake up and we just decide it's going to be gloom and doom. It's going to be woe is me. It's going to be somebody done me wrong. But no, you wake up every day and you say to yourself, I am going to find a reason to celebrate myself today. I'm going to find a reason to claim a victory. Somehow I'm going to claim a victory. Somehow I'm going to be better. Do that every single day, you all. Do that every single day, because sometimes we wake up and we go through the same humdrum, repetitious thing every single day. Whatever your day looks like, sometimes it looks like that every single day. Aren't you tired of those days that look like every day, every day? So wake up with the mindset that I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going to find something to celebrate by the time night falls, by the time the sun sets. Unless you're in Alaska, where the sun is not necessarily setting, that sort of thing. But determine within yourself, I'm going to find a reason to celebrate. All right, I'm going to find a purpose for applauding me, for commending me, for being proud of me, for being thankful for me. All right? We'll get there. Let me just shout out the LTTC VIPs. I mean, I'm just talking, trying to help us jumpstart our days. I think sometimes we wake up in the morning, and when we wake up in the morning, and we're not able to jumpstart our days, and we give in to the negative energy of the moment, and we just stay there. And then the day is just all downhill. We get caught in the downward spiral. But I'm trying to tell you what you can do rather than waking up getting caught in a downward spiral. You can wake up with intentionality. You can wake up with a deliberate mind frame. And why do I keep saying mind frame? Maybe I'm thinking time frame, but with a deliberate mindset that says, I am going to win today. I'm going to win in some category, in some respect, in some perspective. I am going to win every single day. That ought to be your mindset. That the day is not going to get me down. Life is not going to get me down. No, I'm not going to wake up 365 days and deal with this notion that I'm just going to succumb to the day. That whatever will be. Que sera, sera. Nope, that's not going to be it for me. It's not going to be a passive life. I'm going to be an active participant. You've got to be an active participant in your life. No, life is not happening to me, but life is happening because of me, and I am happening in life. I am happening in life. I'm doing, I'm showing up, I'm being, I'm all these things with an ing at the end of it. I'm doing something every day, every day. And sometimes it's just your mindset. I'm happy today. I'm peaceful today. I'm joyful today. I'm content today. I'm okay today. I'm all right today. Yeah, there may be some other things, but in the midst of those other things, this is what's going on with me. I'm okay. I'm joyful. I'm content. I'm peaceful. I'm all right. All of those things. I'm progressing. I'm moving. I'm showing up. I'm presenting myself. I'm being me. All of those things are going on. That's what helps me to make it through the day. Because a lot of times I'm working, I'm texting, I'm sending emails, I'm on the phone, I'm doing all of those things. But in the midst of all of those things, I'm saying to myself, I'm all right with today. I'm all right with the world. It doesn't mean everything is going right. No, absolutely not. But guess what? I'm okay with today. And I think if you can say that every day, every day you wake up, you're walking in purpose. Every day you wake up, there's there's something for you to do. Your journey is not over. Your purpose is not over, but you are alive because there is something for you to do. There is somebody's life for you to impact. There's somebody's life for you to have some kind of effect on. And you have to make sure by the end of every day, you have to ask yourself, did I walk in purpose today? And I'm not talking about the end all be all, meet destiny and that kind of stuff, but did I do something that had an impact on somebody's life? Was there some causal connection with what I did and the outcome of somebody's life? Did somebody smile because of me? Did somebody say they could go on because of me? Did somebody's perspective change because of me? Did somebody breathe a little better because of me? Did somebody eat whereas they may not have eaten because of me? Did somebody feel comfortable because of me? Did somebody feel safe because of me? Did somebody feel secure because of me? Did somebody feel taken care of because of me? Did somebody feel valued because of me? Did somebody feel affirmed because of me? Did somebody feel motivated because of me? Did somebody feel challenged because of me? Did somebody feel inspired because of me? Did somebody feel better because of me? You can ask yourself all of those things. Were you the causal connection in somebody's life that day? And can I tell you this? Sometimes you are the causal connection in your own life. Was I intentional about making sure I've lived the life that I want to live? Was I intentional about making sure I did the thing that I wanted to do? Was I intentional about making sure I avoided the distractions? Was I intentional about making sure that I went around the potholes that were set up in life? Was I intentional about making sure that I didn't run into any sudden stops and I felt trapped? Was I intentional about all of that? Was I intentional about being my best self, even in the worst of situations? Was I intentional about my life? You've got to be intentional about your life. I know it's in the comments in the chat that I said that I want to talk about how to know that you've made the right decision. But part of making the right decision is making sure that you wake up in the morning and that you are intentional about your life. Some of us are not intentional about life. We just let life happen. But you've got to be intentional about your life. I'm intentional that people are not going to, that they're not going to exploit me, that they're not going to manipulate me. I'm intentional about all of those things. I'm intentional about the fact that I'm not going to do it if it challenges my set of social values. I'm going to be true to who I am and true to my core values. I'm going to be intentional about making sure that I take time to do what's best for me, that I eat right, that I exercise right, that I get enough rest, that I do all of those things, that I take care of myself, that I learn to indulge in self-love without apology. Sometimes making the right decision is make sure that you make the right decision for you, because sometimes you can't make the right decision for anybody else until you first make the right decision for you. I'm going to be intentional about not being a people pleaser. I'm going to be intentional about taking care of myself first. It's kind of like riding on the airplane. If the cabin oxygen is low, the mask will fall, but make sure you put on your mask before you try to help anybody else, because you are no good to anybody else until you're first good to yourself. And I'm not talking about being conceited, egotistical or arrogant or any of that, but I'm talking about being able to take care of yourself so that you can then help others, so that you can then walk in purpose. You can't walk in purpose until you take care of yourself. Got to. You've got to. Marissa, thank you. You've got to be intentional and true to your values. I haven't even shouted out the LTTC VIPs, and I told y'all, I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, but let me just say thank you. Let's see who they are. The first 3 people that I see on my end who showed up in the chat this evening. Thank you all. There's Linda Martin. Good evening to everyone, she says. And then there's Sylvia Clemens, who says good evening to everyone. And then there's Marissa again, who says hello, everyone. Thank you all for being the LTTC VIPs this evening, the first one to show up in the chat. But you all, I am so serious. I am so serious about making sure that when I wake up in the morning, I stop and I inhale and I exhale and I inhale and I exhale. I inhale the ability to execute everything that I've got to do today. I inhale the authority to do it. I inhale the power to do it. And I inhale the desire to do it. I inhale the authority to do it. I inhale the power to do it. And I inhale all of those things. The authority. I have the authority to be my best self. I have the power to be my best self. And I have the desire to be my best self. Go and tell somebody, come on, let's talk the color, because he's reminding us that every single day we've got to be intentional about being our best self. Otherwise, things and life and situation and circumstances will catch you off guard. It could be somebody at the supermarket who looks at you wrong. I walked into a place today, and as soon as I walked in, there was a customer there, and the customer just looked. It was just this crazy look. Looked at me as if I didn't belong there. I ran back within myself and said, I'm supposed to be everywhere. And I'm supposed to walk through every door that the Creator opens for me. I'm good. And I'll tell you where I was. I was getting ready to rent a car. I put mine in the shop, and I was getting ready to rent another vehicle. And this person just looked at me like, what are you doing here? It was just a crazy look. And it could just been how I processed it at the moment. It really, really could have been. It could have been how I processed it at the moment. But I walked up to the counter, and guess what I said? I want the best car that you have. I want the best vehicle that you have. I surely did. I went in because I'm telling you, wherever your feet trod, you have a right to be there. You really do. And don't let people make you feel bad when you're on this trajectory to be your best self. Don't let people derail you from your dreams and your goals and your intentions of being your best self. You be your best self wherever you are, wherever you go. Be your best, baddest self wherever you go, and learn to make the right decisions about life. And y'all, that's really what I wanted to talk about. That is what I really want to talk about. Yeah. It's good to see all of you. But let's be intentional about making the right decisions. I was chatting with some friends who are going through the stress of having to make some life-changing decisions and just wondering, am I making the right decisions these days? And again, you see the premise of making, for me, the premise of making the right decisions these days comes from making sure that when you wake up in the morning, that you are intentional about doing what's best for you. There's some difficult days ahead. There's some challenges, some things that I have to do, and I have to make sure that I make the right decisions to secure my future. I have some hard decisions, and in these days, I understand. In these days, there are those of us, there are friends of mine, there are people in our circle, in our space, in our village, in our community, who have some difficult decisions to make, you all, who have to make some difficult decisions. And so that means that they have to carefully consider their values. They have to do the research. So not only do they have to look at their values, they have to do the research, they have to sometimes trust their guts, they have to evaluate the outcome. What is this going to look like? All of that while acknowledging that whatever decision I make, I just have to trust that it's going to lead me to growth. It's going to lead me to better. So they have to consider their values. They have to do the research. They have to trust their gut. They have to look at the potential outcomes. And they have to just believe that it's going to lead them along a path of growth. Making difficult decisions. Yes, on one hand, man, you were on fire talking about getting ready and getting your day started, jump starting your day. But what when you have to jump start your day and you have to jump start your day and then you have to deal with these life-changing, life-altering decisions? Like, am I going to retire? Am I going to buy a house? How am I going to move? What am I going to do? How am I going to secure my future? How am I going to take care of myself? How am I? What is tomorrow going to look like? I've lived through all of the yesterdays, but I haven't lived through all of the tomorrows. What are they going to look like? What are they going to look like? And when you have to make those kinds of decisions, that's when you step back and say, let me take a look at what's important to me. What's truly important to me. And the decision that I am about to make, the decision that I'm going to make, the choice that I'm going to make, is it going to move me closer to the things that are important, particularly the long-term goals of my life? And not is it going to move me along that path, along that trajectory? Is this decision that I'm going to make, is it congruent with, is it in alignment with the core values and the beliefs and the principles of my life, my heart, and my soul? Is it in alignment with who I really am? And does it take me into who I want to be? How do I know whether it's going to take me into the who I want to be? Let me step back and research. Let me see what's going on here. Let me take a look and weigh the pros and the cons of this decision that I'm pondering. You know, I'm cogitating some real life-changing decisions. Let me step back really and be objective and look at the pros and the cons. I'm talking about how to make real tough decisions. How do I know I'm making these decisions? Of course, after you've said, when you wake up in the morning, you springboard and you're ready for the day. And now, here you are dealing with these decisions. But how do you know you're making them? Look at the pros and the cons. Weigh it out. And sometimes when you can't weigh it out, talk to people whose advice you trust. Talk to people who understands you and you understand them. Talk to people who understand your situation. Stop talking to, did I clap my hands like that, you all? Stop talking to people who don't understand your situation. Why are you wasting your time? Sometimes, have you ever been frustrated? And then after conversation, now my voice is getting loud because I really do mean this, y'all, because and I remember these situations, talking to people who just started rattling off, giving you feedback, giving you advice. And the truth of the matter is they did not understand your situation no more than a cat eating a bone. I purposely said that because it's the dog who should be eating the bone. They didn't understand your situation at all. And there you were taking advice from a cat who eats a bone. Make sure that you get advice from people who understand your situation. And sometimes when you're trying to get advice and you're doing your research, make sure that you understand people are biased. They have certain perspectives. They don't always see through your lens. Handling life in the midst of having to make difficult decisions. How, Cutler, do I know that I'm making the right decisions? Man, I'm telling you, in this climate, I have some life-altering decisions to make, and you're talking about being on fire for what's better and on fire for victory and on fire for winning every single day. But in the midst of some of these days, man, there are just some hard decisions that I have to make. How do I know I'm making the right decision? Core values is one thing. Doing your research, checking out the pros and the cons. Linda says, for me, getting a good night. I had to put my glasses on. Getting a good night's rest, morning meditation, morning exercise helps me to go the right ways. Being spiritual, I ask the Holy Spirit to guide me through. Absolutely. You stop. And so that's when I went through the whole you inhale and you exhale. And I inhale, I'm going to say it again. I inhale the authority to be my best. I inhale the power to be my best. And I inhale the desire to be my best. That's what I do every single morning. Every single morning. And as you're making these difficult decisions, y'all, when they just show up, when you've looked at your core values, when you've done your research, when you looked at the pros and the cons, and you juxtapose those things, and you say, yeah, I see where this is going. This is the line. This is taking me into really who I want to be. This is on the trajectory of me becoming better, Cutler. I hear you every so often talk about being better. We're on our way to becoming better. And so then you say, you know what? What I'm going to do now is just trust my gut. I'm going to trust my intuition. I've meditated about it, I've prayed about it, I've talked about it, I've done all of these things. And so now I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to trust my intuition. I hear you, Cutler, speaking to me out of the space of your faith. Lean not to lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. Cutler, I hear you that. I hear you say that as a foundation of your faith. And thank you so much. And now that I've done all of that, I'm just going to go right with what I intuitively believe, what I intuitively trust. And you have to do that. You just have to do that sometimes. And as you're doing that, don't ignore the warning signs. Sometimes we ignore the warning signs because we know what we want. I want to get there in a hurry, so I'm going to ignore the sign that says speed limit 35, and I'm going to go 78. I want to get there by going that route. So I'm going to ignore the warning sign that says the bridge is slippery when there is ice. We ignore the warning signs. The warning signs that says, don't go that way. Don't mess with that person. Don't heed advice from him. Don't heed advice from her. Don't pull him or her in your social circle into your social space. We heed all of that. Or we hear it and we ignore it. Don't ignore the warning signs. Just don't ignore the warning signs. When you wake up in the morning, you all, be fully charged, be fully engaged. Even if being fully charged and fully engaged means that you have to make some difficult decisions throughout the day, still be fully charged, be fully engaged so that you are purposeful and intentional and deliberate about walking through everything that confronts you and everything that meets you that day. I had to give a friend of mine space yesterday who said, Cutler, man, I have some difficult decisions to make. And I said, listen, I'm not going to give you unsolicited advice or unsolicited input, but I'm going to step back and give you that space so that by the end of the day, you can experience a victory that you were intentional about participating in. Go on through your day. Be intentional about saying, listen, before I put my head on the pillow, I don't care what kind of decisions I'm going to have to make. Before I put my head on the pillow tonight, guess what? There will be some kind of victory that I win. And I'll learn to celebrate myself. If nobody else applauds to me, I'm going to applaud to myself. If nobody else pats me on my back, I'm going to pat my own self on the back, because there was something throughout the day that caused me to be victorious. I want to say thank you all. I got off track, but I guess I was on track because I really spoke directly from my heart. It was the planning and the making sure that you make the right decisions. That's where I really wanted to go. But I guess intuitively, instinctively, I felt someone needing to know how to start their day off and to get throughout their day and not feel like the day was a waste, or that they succumbed to the day, or that they were not victorious throughout the day. You have the wherewithal to be victorious. And I'm going to stop you all, but I really just feel this for somebody. You have the wherewithal to be victorious every single day of your life. And if they're not people in your community, they're not people in your village who push you on to victory, who pull you on to victory, who applaud you on to victory, you might need to change the people in your circle, the people in your space, the people in your community, the people in your village. You have the wherewithal to be victorious every single day. Be intentional about it. Be deliberate about it. Wake up in the morning and do something that I do. Take a chapter from Cutler's book, or just if you don't take a chapter from Cutler's book, take a paragraph from his chapter. And if you don't take a paragraph from the chapter, just take a few lines out of the paragraph. Cutler says he wakes up every morning and he inhales the authority to be his best. He inhales the power to be his best. And he inhales the desire to be his best. I want to thank you all for allowing me to come into whatever space you've allowed me to come into this evening. Whether it's your living room, your dining room, your car, if you're out walking, wherever it is, thank you so much for allowing me to come into that space, where hopefully I've said something that jumpstarts you, that inspires you, that motivates you, and that challenges you to be the best version of yourself that you can, even in the worst of situations. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's stay safe and stay sane and keep your heads up and keep your hopes up, and know that every single day you can be the best version of you that you possibly can be. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Please know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. I'll see you the next time I see you all. Good night. And until then, tell somebody, come on and let's talk to Cutler. Good night, everybody.